Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your sometimes weekly pop culture podcast where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is the spoiler show, so you have been warned. I guess we should actually say on the show that the reason why I've stumbled over that a few times is we're still going to come to you with the podcast element of this, and we're still going to cover movies. We're just not beholding ourselves to the Tuesday and Friday structure.
Yeah.
Because our schedule, we're venturing a little bit more into episodic television coverage.
On the YouTube, so head on over and hit subscribe because we're going to be doing a ton of stuff. Impeachment starts today. And we're doing American Horror Story, we're doing Riverdale, so there's tons of stuff over there. And
we're not making enough money yet. We're making some. Thank you. We love you. But we're not making.
You can also go to the Patreon, patreon.com/soimwatchingthisshow, or we have a Cashapp and a Venmo, which you can see here.
In case you want more steady, more reliable content.
Yeah.
However, I need to put an asterisk there that the making of money does not guarantee more content.
It's true. But it will help.
So okay. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the 2021 Cinderella adaptation. I guess that's what I'll call it. It's Kay Cannon, wrote and directed, Camila Cabello, Billy Porter. It was one of those that was meant to be released in theaters. It did not. It wound up on Amazon Prime. Let's take a look before we get into it.
Marry him and all of our problems will be solved. It's too late. Life outside this basement starts right now.
In a general sense, I have a feeling that we're going to approach this initially for what it is and not what it could or should be.
Okay.
Because the movie's getting kind of pummeled. And what?
I'll get out of my head a little then. I already had a direction I was going.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I hated it.
Really? I loved it. I thought it was so cute.
It was so bad. So bad. Okay, I will give you...
I thought it was so cute.
I liked a handful of things.
Okay.
And I can try to focus on those if it will be helpful.
No, let's talk about it. I was more or less just sort of like enchanted by it. But okay, let's go. Like, why did you hate it?
Okay, first, Camila Cabello's voice is incorrect. She has such a modern voice.
I like her voice in the songs on the radio.
100%.
But that A Million Dreams was like listening to a cheese grater. And I said to my mom, I was like, you might like this, although her voice.
It didn't suit because it was, I mean, they were doing that thing where it's like, it's old timey, but it's like modern. And her voice was not it for that.
It didn't know heads from tails, tonally what it was doing.
No, absolutely not.
But that was part of, because I tried to we get this narration from Billy Porter at the beginning, and it's very sort of like, once upon a time, a long time ago, very recently, in a town that's far but near. And I'm like, okay. It was like a very traditional town, was facing modern times. And I was like.
Everywhere and nowhere all at once.
So, okay. I don't want to be reductive. I don't enjoy the whole real movie debate that's happening right now.
No. Look,
especially given
Patty Jenkins will not stop running her mouth. I'm not into it.
Having said that, this belonged on Amazon Prime.
Oh, 100%. Was this meant to be a theater movie? Absolutely not.
I'm surprised. I genuinely thought you were going to like it a lot more.
I wanted to.
Did you not think it was funny?
I thought parts of it were funny, and then I thought the rest of it was trying way too hard to be funny.
Okay.
I wore this shirt for a reason. No, okay. I did think parts of it were funny. I thought parts of it were very cute. I thought that Camila Cabello and the prince, what's his name?
Nicholas
something
Galatinzi,
had negative chemistry. I was like not really into that. I really liked the sister.
I was almost really mean.
Gwen. I really liked Gwen, the princess. I really liked the bits with Minnie Driver and Pierce Brosnan. I thought that stuff was great.
Minnie Driver was very Gina Gershon and Showgirls.
She knew exactly.
And the thing is, it's like, I almost feel like she kind of, when she walked in, she like told Kay Cannon to have a seat, and she was like, I got this.
Yeah, we're good.
Like
it's good. You don't have to direct me. I know exactly what we're doing.
Pierce Brosnan was doing a lot in ways I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And okay. I mostly just really liked it. So, okay, I thought she was a better actress, and I thought she was funnier than I was anticipating. I wasn't coming in thinking that I was going to be like, man, she nailed all of it but the singing.
No, definitely not. Because I don't think she 100% nailed the singing, to be honest. I also thought she was... I can't say wooden because she gave it a lot, but it was like there were definitely certain parts that worked a lot better than other parts with her acting.
Okay.
And I did enjoy her a couple, and it was like more often than not was when she was like whispering to herself after an interaction that I was like actually laughing out loud, where I was like, that was a good delivery.
She had a smile where he like said something about her being high maintenance, and she was very sort of like, that I thought was funny. But there's a moment sort of early on. So I think one of the more interesting parts of the movie, and unfortunately the movie doesn't know this, is the stepmother and stepsisters. Idina Menzel as Vivian has a line early on about how if she spent even half the amount of time brushing her hair as she did on blah, 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 blah. And I was sort of like, take the note.
Yeah.
Because her hair stays in that ratty braid
like,
the entire movie. There's like shells in it and stuff.
There are like puka shells like sewn into her braid.
And there was a point where we go to the ball, and I fucking loved the dress.
It was pretty good. Yeah. I don't have a problem.
I didn't feel like it certainly wasn't a take, or wasn't not a take, I guess, rather. And I kept waiting for, and it's not so much that I wanted an updo.
Yeah.
But I kept waiting, and I was like, oh no, it's just the magic only works to here.
It's just the hair, just the same hair. And okay. That's the other thing. I think Camila Cabello is super cute. I think she's fine. Again, I like her voice in real life, in regular songs. I think her face is cute. I like her hair. Everything's fine. Bangs. Those bangs. Not even like period appropriate bangs.
Well, they're omnipresent. She's had them for.
No, I know. But it's like, I'm going to make a comment and you're just going to be like, no, she would absolutely do that. But it's like, would Ariana Grande keep her high pony if she did something like this? Do you know what I mean? It's so out. She would. But it's like, ugh.
But that's iconic.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's at least like a thing. And you didn't like the prince? I thought he was really funny.
Okay.
I
liked him fine.
I liked that he was like a little poncy.
Yeah.
And the fucking earring.
Yeah. He was just like a little bit of a dandy. And I did kind of like him. I just think that they didn't have chemistry.
What was the thing with him and Wilbur?
Oh, I don't know. Wilbur was weird.
Wilbur was like in love with him.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, are we going to do this?
No.
There was like 2 or 3 times where I was like, this is a movie for young people. This is an adaptation of Cinderella. It's not necessarily meant for children. Like, it's not for children per se.
Well,
yes, it
not
is.
For grown-ups.
No, I mean, it's not like educate. Like, it's not like,
sure.
It's not to bring up children. Because there was a handful of risque jokes that I was like, that's such an appropriate way to introduce young people to some of this content. Like, there was alcohol jokes. There were several sex jokes. Whatever that first princess was, I thought was so funny.
So funny.
And
that's the thing is like,
the disgusting part of having children.
I was very encouraged by the first like 10 to 15 minutes. And then I was just like, oh, it just all kind of went like to me.
So if anything, I almost wish, and I think you would agree, I almost wish it was weirder. Like, it did lean into the parts that were like. Because
honestly, honest to God, and I hate that I'm about to say this because I know that he is persona non grata. Okay, but when it's actually James Corden after the mice get turned into the footmen and they just start clapping and they're like, what is this? This is brilliant. Stitches. That was like the funniest part of this movie to me.
I'm in a very like complaining about James Corden is the James Corden of James Corden place. Like, I'm just sort of like,
I get it.
And maybe it's the part of me that after a certain amount of time, I stopped fighting the Kardashians.
Sure.
But I just was sort of like, I don't have that type of energy. Like, that's not the war that I'm.
No, I'm not trying to fight a war. Here's my thing though, is that the 2 other mice they're both relatively unknown to an American audience because they're like British comedians. So it's like, but then James Corden, pick another unknown British comedian and put three of them together. You know what I mean?
There was a running joke, and I actually think it might have only happened twice, but it could have been 3 times, where something weird would happen and 2 people would be like, ugh. And the third one was like, I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff like that I thought was really funny. But back to the other princess, and
Princess Laura was her name.
And it's not really about her, but I loved what a fixture of the plot the sea monster became.
Oh my God, yeah.
They just kept like
you'll have all of this land from here until the like domain of the sea monster.
They kept talking about merging their blobs.
Yeah.
And then later, like Pierce Brosnan, the king, he was like, we need the sea monster. Like I just, that part was very funny. And that's the stuff where it's like, that's what movie Minnie Driver and Idina Menzel were in.
Both of whom look delightfully their age.
Oh, just I was like, as opposed to, no, just, yeah, I
love it.
They look great. It started in the traditional, like, the evil stepsisters, immediately backtracks and then just dumps them off a Looney Tunes cliff. Like,
I really liked the one, Narissa. I mean, I liked them both a lot, but I liked Narissa a lot more. She had like such a Daffy quality.
Well,
to
it
her.
started to imbue them with like actual personality and a different take. But then halfway through it, like, so that is another thing if I'm being critical. This movie is 2 hours long and it doesn't have the plot. Like I'm like, how did you have that much time and so many half plots?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because the somebody to love montage takes like 15 goddamn minutes.
Well, so.
And Ella Enchanted did it better.
Well, and yes, Minnie Driver there too.
Yeah.
But also, it was in Happy Feet, which, I mean, at this point is like a footnote in the children's movie book.
Yeah.
But
I liked the first one.
It
does turn hard into propaganda at the end, but the penguin part is cute.
And so part of what I found so thrilling about the initial jukebox musical part of this was that it was not well-worn territory. Like Rhythm Nation hasn't shown up in like 10 children's, like it's not in Trolls 3, you know what I mean?
We don't know that. We didn't see it.
And so part of me was kind of like, oh, and then between that and like, fuck, what did Billy Porter sing? Shining Star.
Yeah, and
that was very uninspired.
Weirdly, okay, that was my problem with the music, is that like, sure, some of them weren't like overused songs, but none of them effectively moved the story forward, in which case, why are we singing?
While I've mostly enjoyed the music, I was like, it jarred me every single time.
Seven Nation Army? First of all, one of the best rock songs in existence. And second of all, really weirdly used as the prince trying to escape the women after him. Bizarre. Super bizarre.
I was also drinking while I watched this.
I was stone sober this morning, so maybe that is my problem.
She was bald and had like gold leafing on her head. I was like...
The princesses were cool. Like all of the other princes. And I was actually torn a little because I liked all their different dresses, but I did wish for a cohesion of some kind.
I couldn't
They were like very, very different.
Yeah, well, and I couldn't help but feel, especially the ball scene, couldn't help but feel like a knockoff of 2015's Disney's Cinderella, Lily James.
Honest to God, almost put that on after I was done.
We love that movie, so... I mean, you're kind of... I don't know, like I said, I looked at the reviews and I thought the reviews were doing way too much. Like,
probably.
I was reading one, it was like Polygon or something. And it seemed like she was deliberately trying to misinterpret the movie. She was like, the movie's moral is not about like pursuing other things because you enjoy it. It's about indulging in capitalism. Like your things are only worth it if you can make money off of it. And I was like,
no,
that feels like a reach.
Yeah, I resist that.
She said girl boss too many times. And I was like, that's so June of 2021.
Yeah. Also, I did kind of like it where at first he put her in the fabulous godmother put her in the pantsuit. It was silly. It was very silly, which I enjoyed.
Okay. I like Billy Porter a lot.
Oh, thank you for saying this first. Let's go. Because I was going to do it, but
I never talk about it because I don't want the entire internet to come for me.
Mm-hmm. They can come for us both.
I like him a lot. I think he's great. And I think he's such a wonderful and necessary ingredient.
Yeah.
But he does too much in ways that I feel like it's not that it's performative, but it's like he's made this big to-do about how they've changed the name of his character because magic doesn't have a gender.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still calling him a godmother. They changed fairy to fabulous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's stupid.
I mean, it's because of the gay factor.
As in like fairy being a slur?
Yeah.
No, that's hardly. That's antiquated.
I'm telling you that's why.
I don't know. To literally use the explanation, the gender explanation,
Mm-hmm.
and then keeping the gendered word, it doesn't, that's incorrect how you do, like fairy godmother or fairy godfather or fairy god person or whatever. It's like the fabulous that rang very affectatious to me. That rang very yes, girl queen, like slay, and which I mean he literally
agree.
did
no,
that.
No, he literally does. Okay, I mostly agree with you about Billy Porter. I love what he's done for like men wearing dresses and
oh my God,
gender fluidity.
Yeah.
I'm 100% here for all of that. But it's like this role is bizarre.
Well, I even liked him in the role. I loved. Okay.
Yeah, my only complaint about it is that I wish it mimicked the wings a little bit more.
I think that was a later. I think they changed.
I think that
was a later in production decision.
Okay. That's fair.
Because it's like a monarch when he's landing.
Yeah, the color. Ugh. Oh my God. Amazing. And the like necklace, which kind of mimics the like markings. Yeah.
So my honest to God, my thing with him was he rubbed me the wrong way in an Inside the Actors Studio round table where he like as the very like openly on the front lines of the battle, queer voice in the room, he brought up the gay actors playing gay roles commentary and in a really sort of backhanded way kind of threw Richard Madden under the bus. And Richard Madden was there. Like he was sort of like talking about like
Rocket Man.
He didn't say those words, but it was like
but that's what Richard Madden was there for, yeah.
And if you're a longtime fan of the show, you'll know that we have very complicated feelings on this debate because I think it sets a precedent that we are entitled to actors' private lives in order for them to do a job. Well, because Richard Madden may or may not be gay or bisexual or whatever. He's never commented on it. We have reason to believe anything. We've seen stuff. And so
the thing for me about that, because to me it turns into a slippery slope where it's like, if only gay people can play gay characters, then you're going to reach a point where it's like gay people can only play gay characters. That is so reductive too.
I'm less worried about that because that's sort of, I don't love slippery slope logic, even though I use it sometimes. I don't
either, but you can't tell me that wouldn't happen.
Well, we don't know, but the point of the gay actors playing the gay roles conversation is that it's gay actors are less visible. Yeah. They're not given the opportunity to play roles because they're gay, so that the roles that are available should be given to them.
Sure. And
in a very broad sense, I agree. But it gets into a weird, nitpicky works, but there's a fancier word that I want to use. Like
a semantic place.
It gets really semantical in a way that I think does the entire conversation a disservice. And so it's just like, I understand like using your platform to further a conversation. But like I said, and I'm also coming at this from a very specific view where I'm very passionate about like male fluidity and male bisexuality because it's very misunderstood and it's very, very
underrepresented.
Extremely. And it's to the point where it's like a man is afraid to explore this side of himself because he thinks it's putting such a concrete label on himself that can't be undone.
Yeah, like gay only.
Yes. And so it's like if hypothetically Richard Madden maybe had his whole life been with women, but then met a guy and thought, I can't go down this path. Like I can't even explore it because of the ramifications. And so it's like, I don't know. I just sort of, it like I said, it just really, it smacked to me a little bit Like, and I mean, he didn't out anybody, but it was getting more into that type of like politics, that type of semantics and stuff. And so this was a really weird long tangent, but it's just sort of like, and that's where I'm like, because I really do like him. I think he's extremely talented. And
but something like that comes across as very gatekeepy in a way that's like, I can't fully embrace you because I feel like you're not fully embracing what I represent.
And
I know that he should not be representing a straight white woman.
No, and I mean, we're coming off of a weekend where, spoiler alert for Drag Race All-Stars season 6, but we had our first transgender winner, and that's a debate in the community. And I'm like, I understand what I understand the point the detractors think they're making. I think it's wrong and misguided personally. And furthermore, I mean, gatekeeping isn't a good look on the community.
Definitely not.
I don't know. I'm not big on rules and regulations in that way. So anyways, like I said, long, weird tangent.
Yeah.
I liked the scene. I just wish the song was better. I wish it was a more inspired song, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a shining star. Well, that was the other thing is they like, I know that jukebox musicals don't only, but it's like, you know, the music in Moulin Rouge all kind of feels of a piece, sort of. And all of these songs were different genres, different styles, different feels, different vibes. And it's just like, the scene with Idina Menzel and the stepsister singing Material Girl was cool and fun, but like it didn't match anything else in the movie.
I mean, I can get that. It also sort of rubbed me a little bit wrong that there was such a heavy lean into like hip hop and R&B, and the only black person we had was Billy Porter. I know
except
Camilla
for, like, the
is
background.
Cuban. Yeah. And then there was Cuban, and then there was the town crier, but it's sort of.
He was my favorite part.
Was he really?
Hilarious. So funny. I liked that was the other thing is nothing was really styled the same way because his stuff, it was black and gold, and him and all of his like backup people were all black and gold, like brocade, like embellishments and everything, and it just didn't fit or match anybody else, but like his stuff was very funny, it was very cool. Yeah, it was clever. I liked his stuff a lot.
I thought it just was kind of a ripoff of Hamilton, but
well, this whole movie is
you're like, hey, but that's at least an identity. Like
this whole movie's a ripoff.
Yeah, so like I said, we talked a little bit about the stepsisters. I wish that they had some follow through, and I almost literally just said this isn't the kind of show or story where I expect for everybody to be coupled up at the end.
No,
and
but
it
they
literally
easily
is.
could have,
It's a fairy tale. So no, how the stepsisters didn't end up with Thomas and the farmhand, I'll never.
Yeah.
I mean, why on earth would you establish those characters?
Or also, like, I don't know, because Cinderella and Vivian ended up in like a good place. Why doesn't Vivian go get with the farmhand now that she's like she can be taken care of? Give one of the daughters to Thomas and have the other one find someone else. And
I appreciated the attempt at nuance they took with Vivian. Yeah. They were taking her in more of like a woman of her time versus being a horrible shrew, like a horrible cunt, but like, because she was rude, but also it was very sort of like, I don't know, I would be kind of exasperated with that.
Sure.
As well.
Okay.
Like,
I also have like, I don't know, the whole, I guess this is part of it being just like a fairy tale and not existing in a real time or space, but like everybody laughed super hard at Ella about trying to like operate a business. Like, girls can't do that. And I was like, pardon, women have been like brewers and you like for centuries and centuries and centuries. That is not a gendered profession. Women have owned businesses for centuries, and they just all were like, oh. I could not get it. Like, honest to God, broke the movie for me. And also the fact that she was like desperate to open a couture fashion store in an open air market.
Nothing.
It was ridiculous.
Those are the takeaways that the 12-year-olds watching this. In no reality, I
hope the 12-year-olds are having such a good time. I really, really do.
I was going to say in my defense, Cinderella is my favorite fairy tale, and I just sort of love this story. Like, it definitely, this movie didn't need to happen. It didn't bring anything to the table, certainly not successfully. that any of the prior, like, just watch Ever After and the 97 Brandy Whitney Houston Cinderella, and you'll get far more from that double feature than you will this.
I'm also not joking. You can watch Ella Enchanted. It's just as good. Having
said that, like I said, I kind of just loved it. It is one of the things that this is a role reversal for us. I feel like, because I just turned my brain off and watched my fairy tale.
You definitely did.
and I mean, it was pinging the same boxes that like a Hallmark Christmas movie would, but like
I wouldn't watch one of those either.
I mean, I watched the one that Mariah Carey directed.
Oh God,
it was fun. She had the forethought to, like, or she had the self-awareness to cast herself as the villain.
Okay,
in the movie. Although
you have told me that
it was hilarious because all of her shots were obviously not filmed on the same day at the same time or even in the same hemisphere as the other actors.
Oh my God.
So it always cuts to like this like this like glossy room where she's not even facing the same direction. But anyways, no, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I kind of loved it. I imagine there being an entire group of 12-year-old, girls and gays who are going to think that this movie invented music. What? And
I can't get behind that.
I liked it.
Oh boy.
I wanted to say on that note, if you are interested in sort of like mashups, reimaginings, retellings of fairy tale stories, fantasy tropes, that I wrote a book called Fairy Tale that is just that. The way I pitch it to people is I say it's like Gossip Girl meets Game of Thrones. And fashion, fantasy, humor, and adventure collide when a group of spoiled royals must find and defeat an ancient evil.
You fucking memorized that. Nice.
So yeah, it's not for kids though. I should say that.
Yeah, it's definitely not for kids. Turn it to the side. It's 700 pages long.
It's an easy read.
No,
it's long.
I'm just saying that's also why it's not for kids. It's very long.
It's a long story because it's a mashup. It's all of the characters together in a slightly modern, take. I would like to think it sticks the landing a little bit better than
this
Camila Cabello's Cinderella.
It does. You can find it on a link from our website that just says fairy tale. Our website is soimwatching.com and the link is at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Amazon.com, fairy tale.
That doesn't work.
Why?
There's way too many things called fairy tale.
Well, yep. Amazon.com, Fairy Tale by William S. Brooks.
Okay.
That works. So.
Yep.
Bye. No.
Okay, so you can
like
follow
and subscribe.
us. Yeah, like and subscribe to this video, or any of the other ones if this one wasn't for you. And then you can follow us on Twitter.
You don't have to subscribe individually to videos. You subscribe to the channel.
Sure, but you don't have to like this video.
I'm sure some people won't. If you want to see get our asses handed to us, head on over to our Spencer movie trailer reaction.
Now our third most watched video.
And our most disliked. People were not fans.
No.
They were doing
the most.
Way too much in that comment section.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Like and subscribe. We're on Twitter at soimwatching, Instagram at soimwatching the show. The website is soimwatching.com. It links out to everywhere. And that's it for us. Bye.
If it's million to one, I'm gonna beat that one. God stand a chance. If there's a million people in a room, only one of them needs to believe in you.
Talk about doing the most. He was doing the most.
I liked it.